Welcome to the show today. This is Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth that presents Union News, Union Quickening. That is going to be the topic of today. The real twin flame work happens on the inside, and then it will guaranteed manifest outside. It looked like I was going to say gradually, which is also true, but it also will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your daily twin flame news. Today on the show, we have Union Quickening. Yeah, I said that already because I think that is really something that should be close to your heart. Union Quickening. Because, well, many people actually think that they're sort of the victim of the universe and it just comes when it comes and I can't do anything. So I just let it come over me, and I'm wondering why it takes so long before my union is here and I still don't feel it yet and I don't have it yet. So then you're sort of a victim of it. But on the other side, people often would like to have their twin flame as quickly as possible. Can't we just hurry up a little bit? And that's another kind of attitude that you also sometimes see. So which is it? Or is it both or neither? Let's talk about that. Twin flame or union quickening. Let me know in the chat where you are watching from. And add a heart for the desire of union and a flame for calling in the consciousness state of harmonious union. Twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day. The very fact that time is not real makes that you can experience the twin flame connection here, now, and make it true for you without being delusional. Consciousness does not need space as well. Stand on this and manifest union in the flesh. That was the twin flame union consciousness wisdom of the day. So, yeah, I mean, wow. It's like my mind is blown. Mind blowing, because time is not real in spiritual truth. That's true. So, we think like, when will my union be? How long will it take? I want it now, but it seems like it will take an eternity before it's here. When are we harmonious? When will it all be unpacked, this true divine love? I long for it, but where is it? And the deeper truth is that it is already here. Time doesn't exist. It's not one day it'll arrive. It's already here. And I sort of excavate my consciousness to make it come up and be presented in the world now. That's more the movement that it is really about. I'm not overdoing that. That's genuinely how it happens in the true journey to harmonious union, the consciousness state that it is all about. And additionally, consciousness states don't need space. It's already here, just like it is already now. But of course, that is in the deepest sense. And often we live as a human being in the flesh every day doing our stuff, where that is not made come true yet. You're not living that reality that time isn't real and consciousness doesn't need space. But it might be a beginning to know it and to hear it. That might be a beginning of making that really come true for you. But when you make that really come true for you, so that implies a process that you need to take. And you don't need to do that alone, right? That's why I'm here for the guidance. I guide people behind the screen of YouTube in one-on-one sessions, right? So this timelessness, this spacelessness is where you are already in union with your true twin flame. And that's a truth you certainly can stand on. It's a truth that does not disappear no matter what happens. So that's why you can stand on it. And it holds you. And you have to test that out yourself, possibly, to really be sure about that and trust that, right? But that is what manifests union in the flesh. To excavate yourself in the consciousness and going to stand on that. In like your deeper mentality of the soul. That should become, as a result of a process of transformation, become manifest in the world. Well, so you need to take that process to really make that come true. And I mean, that's why I share the Twin Flame Toolkey and all the additional things and energy work that support the key tool. And I take you on that journey in our one-on-one relationship that you can say yes to and that you can step into, right? And then it really starts to become true for you. Yeah, I guess this already really is. This wisdom of today actually talks about union quickening. So this is really a very magical episode, I think, where we're sort of standing still to see what this magical thing really is. That is like, union is already here. Like, wow, what do you mean, right? Because they blocked me on Facebook yesterday or something. So how is that possible that union is already here? Harmonious union is already here, you know. So you need to like go deeper to bring that forward in your life, and that's the process. And that's why we do this weird, strange tool, so to speak, right? And we're not going to manipulate our twin flame and just tell them, you know, like, you should just mature a little bit better and please do that on my schedule. So like next week you should really be done. Actually, like last week you should already have been done with like maturing yourself out, you know, because yeah, you should have already done that. You know that, you know, you need to be my lover. So you need to just, you know, get some emotional intelligence and stuff. So that's how we think we need to like sort of manipulate them into the relationship. And we're just reaching out into the world to them and stuff. And that is just not what this process says. This process says, no, go in. Realize that union is already here and now. And excavate that union consciousness so that it becomes present in your daily life. Actually. Which is also what the consciousness state of harmonious union is. When you reach that moment that it's really there, and I reach that with my clients who I work together with, and then we feel it together, we know it together. It sort of springs from me, from my heart, to you, to your heart. And it is a genuine difference that is very sharp, and we both know that it happened. You can feel it. It's not some vague thing. It is actually the sharpest moment and the most precise reaching of something that even can happen in any twin flame journey. So, yeah, there you go. That's the movement. That's the thing we're gonna do instead of manipulating them. It's really a different thing than you might have thought about. Well, that's why we're going to step into the school. We're going to do that with a classroom of people from May the 1st, 2025 onwards, because yeah, I feel that that will be just so powerful to do that together, because it will exponentially make this process grow in which you can go deeper. The other way, instead of reaching out, you're going to reach in and bring this deeper consciousness forward that you didn't know that you had and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. So we are having an ACIM lesson of the day, A Course in Miracles lesson of today, because this book of the Christ consciousness is pointed out by the Christ masters that I collaborate with in spirit to roll out the union consciousness and the harmonious union consciousness, in fact, that God wants to see in the world from this time onwards. And yeah, they have pointed out that how they would teach what this deeper consciousness is about is actually very beautifully laid down in this particular book. So it's not the only thing or book that I use, but it's just a wonderful opportunity to approach that kind of consciousness directly. That's what this book does. So let's see a little bit what that says for this lesson of today. 76. I'm under no law but God's. We have observed before how many senseless things have seemed to you to be salvation. Each has imprisoned you with laws as senselessness as itself. You are not bound by them. Yet you understand that this is so. Yet to understand that this is so, you must first realize salvation lies not there. While you would seek for it in things that have no meaning, you bind yourself to laws that make no sense. Thus, do not seek to prove salvation is where it is not. Today, we will be glad you cannot prove it. For if you could, you would forever seek salvation where it is not, and never find it. The idea for today tells you once again how simple is salvation. Look for it where it waits for you, and there it will be found. Look nowhere else, for it is nowhere else. Think of the wisdom in the recognition that you are not bound by all the strange and twisted laws that you have set up to save you. You really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips and piles of metal discs. You really think a small round pellet of some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle will ward off disease and death. You really think you are alone unless another body is with you. The complete lesson will, just like all the other show notes, be in my Patreon because that's where I post the video, the show notes, the links, the full texts after every show. I will also be giving you deals that can be gotten nowhere else. And I will also be sending some secret videos there too real soon. How about that? You can find the Patreon in the description box. Click the link and go there and become a member. That would be really cool. Okay, so ACIM 76. I am under no law but God's. And as it says, other things that we might be able to follow are senseless. They don't lead to salvation. You could do it, but what you're actually deeply looking for is not there. So why do it? Don't do it. So that's really like the no-nonsense direct way that ACIM all the time tells us, listen, this is the truth. Something else. Why would you do that? It's stupid. You're wasting your time. Go do the truth. That's it. I like that about this book. It's so direct. Very interesting. It just says all the time, okay, so you want union consciousness because that's what you need for twin flame union. You see that word, union consciousness. Do you think you need that for twin flame union? Yes, you do. Because that's what makes it happy. That's what makes it sustainable. That's what makes it real and happen instead of only in your fantasy and in the future. So union consciousness. And the book just says all the time, okay, so choose union consciousness when you want union consciousness. So there it is. Just go there. I think it's very interesting that it does that all the time. And then at the end, it talks about how delusional we are. Because we're looking for things where they cannot be found. We're looking for health in putting fluid in our veins instead of going to union consciousness. We're looking for relationship in another body instead of going to union consciousness. We're looking for riches in green paper strips and piles of metal discs. Money instead of union consciousness. And the message is that, all these things are found in union consciousness and nowhere else. Health is found in union consciousness. Money is found in union consciousness, or riches, or feeling rich, or all these things, prosperity, abundance. We want to feel the togetherness and the relationship and experience it all. But it is in union consciousness where that lies, where it can be experienced, where it is placed, where God created that for you to have that as a complete and fulfilling experience. We think we want the twin flame, but it's in union consciousness that you will find that. So just go there and not somewhere else. That's just silliness. Don't do it. I really like that. And it's really true, because this union consciousness is some sort of a shift in your thinking. It's a shift in your feeling in the heart. It's a shift in how you experience your life. And how do you shift? You just shift. So this text makes you aware of, okay, just now make the shift. Well, that's the same as what this show is for. So there you go. And that is so direct, really refreshing. Yeah. And now we're going to a segment of one of my books. And it's going to be, again, The Emerald Itinerary. And it's one of the 3 books that are collected in my paper book that you can order from Amazon. Twin Flames, Manifesting Your Abundant Life of Love. I opened it, and like an oracle, on page 154, I found this segment. It's called Symptoms of a Spiritual Blockage. This is some sort of a special segment in my book because it is from a chapter that actually discusses how incredibly blocked we can sometimes be from all these good things that union consciousness brings. Because our soul somehow has some, baggage, or like has corruption inside of it. You could also say, I have a block to union consciousness. But this text is a little bit more of a tribal language and way of thinking about it. And it refers to that I personally can give you an initiation. It's the first initiation that I give. I have 5 of them. And the first initiation is all about clearing up a certain, like a curse, you could say. That's like the tribal language that is used in this chapter to approach it from that side. And it can also be any blockage on any realm or level of you. Deeply spiritual, past life, parallel life, I don't mind. And this text is actually given by someone that helped me, and now I pass it on. Let's read it. Born into the world with a spiritual blockage, the forbidden fruit of a forbidden relationship, one has no right to existence. Such a person may survive, quote unquote, rather than live, and may even experience happiness as long as he is making other people happy. But if he seeks personal happiness, he will be blocked time and again. Within the family, every second generation will have its old soul, quote unquote, that will carry the responsibility of the family on its shoulders. These are the souls with more life experience than other members of the family. Life experience that is measured in the number of lives and not in the number of years. These souls are people helpers, so to speak, mostly healers, teachers, or artists. Whether or not they actually become healers, teachers, or artists, they are inspired souls with a multitude of talents and a need to use these talents to help other people. Should one of these responsible old souls be born into a family with an inherited blockage, the soul will take charge in order to deal with it. The soul will take on all the blockages of the other family members as a part of its personal growth process. At the age of 7 or 8, this soul will invite into the bedroom at night generations of the lost family members that are deceased but are not able to reincarnate. This soul will carry during the day the burdens of the living and at night the deep sadness of the dead, and will slowly develop physical, emotional, and mental problems that will force it to search out a source of healing. So, this really speaks about this specific idea of this blockage that I had and that I healed. We were talking about 1.5 decades ago that I started this, and that is also the length that is needed for someone to not only have it completely removed, but also become a teacher of it. And here I am passing it on to you and stuff. And well, this is something that actually everyone has that comes to me. And I can help you with that. That's what it comes down to. When you are released of this, your blockage to union consciousness, yeah, is also pretty much lifted. And this could be for you just the reason that you don't progress, the reason that it's so difficult, etc. Very interesting. You can truly work on that. Okay, just go to union consciousness. That's it. And for you, it would be like, yeah, well, such good to know, but I have no idea. I can't reach it. It's like, I just don't touch it. It's, I don't know how come, but it's so completely messed up in my space. I can't make that shift. Though I want it so badly, and I put everything onto it. Maybe because there are things going on inside of you, such as this works. And we can just make a shift because I can take responsibility first, and then it will be over for you, and you can start to move a whole bunch of problems that you might already be having why you can't reach that union consciousness, why it doesn't make sense when I just say, well, just shift there now, that's it. You're like, no, I'm depressed, I can't sleep, it is so hard, I feel so down, my heart's so heavy, I feel like I have the weight of the whole world on my shoulders, something is clearly off, I have emotional pain, that seems incredibly big, why do I have all this, I can't seem to get rid of it, I'm so tired, these sorts of things can be going on. And then you come to me and we do a shift on this offer, and you will be released from it and start to move in another direction. Okay. Yeah. So, and then you will see that, shifting to union consciousness becomes possible because it's a real thing. It's not an idea in your head. It's not a fantasy, this shift. So there you go. I hope that helps. Oracle card of today. So let's ask Divine Mother which card. I already see one of my own Oracle deck. The Union and Mission cards. We're going to read from the booklet in a second. But let me first show it to you. Because qualities are inborn, the artist transformer. Why? Well, I think we just talked about the artist transformer and why they have this whole blockage. And see in the picture, you see that there's this egg that is broken open, and this vortex of energy and love and light is falling out of the egg. It's just coming forward because the eggshell is now broken. Like the curse is now broken, and now it comes forward what you were looking for, the union consciousness. And in that union consciousness, qualities are inborn. Everything you're looking for, you already have. You're looking for your twin flame union. You're looking actually for union consciousness. And you already have it. It's a quality that is inborn. Let's see the text. I will read the text for you from the booklet. A 1.3. And in the booklet, I have an explanation for the card that really goes into union, and I'll read that. But I'll also have an explanation for mission. I won't read that, but it will be on the Patreon, where you will find all show notes posted by me after the show. When you become a member, you can see them All right, so tune to your inner qualities. Your deepest desire is to come home within yourself. An experience of being present within your natural abundance. Coming home is not an initiation, but a tender experience of peace that is present in and around the state of harmonious union. This state is an exact in-click moment, harmonious union is. But the result, the coming home, is draped in your humanness around it. Initiations, well, there you go. We talk about initiations, and it was in what we just discussed. So, really fits together again today, right? Initiations form the steps of the journey to arrive right there. In this movement of homecoming, you will see that you are at the beginning now, that you now will grow into what you really are, that you now see your union for what it is, truly, and can start. It may seem to look in many aspects like what was here before, but union may have the same direction even, but it is still 360 degrees of awakening that lies in it. And that will make it very different. In this landscape, you will see for the first time ever fully what you have always already had been made of. Your inborn qualities with which creatively you give shape to your life and the world. You are a vortex made of spiraling powers turned into a very specific shape and tone. This tone was earlier not yet in a restful peace, not surrounded by space and silence, and now it is. Before you will arrive here definitively, you can create this space for yourself in meditation. Give yourself an hour and sit with yourself in your bedroom with nothing to do. However, a cup of tea, for instance, might work great. Something that feels natural for you and does not stimulate the mind. A series of days in which you can give yourself moments of pure being can be a wonderful meditative and free home retreat to experience a preview of the simplicity of peace, of definitively arriving in your natural abundance. There where you do not necessarily have to create separate moments any longer, and continually are surrounded by this peace and live in exchange with that. Key, the tool, is a beautiful series of 4 questions that will bring you in your natural quality of this moment. Accessible from any possible emotion or thought that bothers you. And Yacht, the other tool, is a more elaborate version of Key. I have published it in my books. These qualities are essential to you and always with you. These rememberings give peace, silence, and the beginning of everything that you contribute to heaven on earth. Awesome. Well, there we are, right? And this will bring us in the next part of today. So, let's see. I am supposed to play music now, so let's try. There it is. So, union quickening. What can we say more about that? I feel like when I was still very much on the journey around 10 years ago, I wanted union quickening. And I thought that that meant that I needed to put my attention in like, is it this guy? Is it this? Should I date more? Should I go on a date with that one? Because maybe it does feel like it is him, or this one reminds me of the true one. And maybe I just feel like I want to be closer to that feeling. And then it might feel like a quickening because I was all involved, and I was like taken into all these movements and actions. And that seemed like a quickening because I was very busy with it, right? I was just, trying out these steps that all came out to be deceptive, which doesn't need to be wrong. But what I did not understand was that the fact that it brought me into something was not really, that was not it, was not really the problem. The problem was that I did not learn the lesson that was in that situation, that was not it, that I felt like I needed to step into. And then I was like, this is weird. I thought that the twin flame journey should result in something very peaceful and beautiful and like the romance of eternity, right? But this feels like, yeah, I don't know. But maybe I should see it as if this is nice. Maybe this is nice, but I just don't understand how this can be. But I only want my twin flame, so maybe this is nice. It's not nice, but I should see it as nice because it should be nice. And I don't know, I was very lost in all these kinds of movements when I had stepped in that situation to get to know it. And it was like, oh, this is like wrong. And but I was like almost like gaslighting myself. That's what I'm describing, sort of, like I needed to do as if maybe this was it, but it actually wasn't. And I lived in that whole mind bend, until it sort of exploded. And then I was like, yeah, well, okay. I don't know, man. I'll just live my life again without this situation and person, and we'll see. And then the same thing happened again. And then the same thing happened on that side. And then the same thing happened on that side. And that, for me, that took a long time. It was like a sort of a phase in which that happened and happened and happened. But there was something that was missing there. I wasn't actually learning the lesson. I wasn't actually involving my deeper self, my true self, my soul, my ground, my experiential ground inside myself, to say, but what does this tell me? What does it say me? What can I learn from this? What exactly is it that makes this so upsetting? And what does that say about me? I didn't really, take that. I didn't want to really be touched by it. I didn't want to digest the reality of what it actually was. I didn't want to be faced with what actually was going on, face myself with it, and feel the feelings in my body that it made me feel, to such an extent, to such a degree, that it would shift me completely, utterly, and radically into another state of consciousness. That's what for me was lacking. So I felt for a long time like, yeah, my quickening is, like, quickly bring in the twin flame again, or who I thought was the twin flame at that time, and quickly try to make steps with them. And then quickly get to know that, I don't know, this is just weird, I don't know. And then I let it go again. But what I did not do was let myself be touched to such a degree that it would shift me. And that was after a long time, and after finally taking seriously the twin flame inner work with the key tool, and after finally doing it on these kinds of situations, that was what finally actually quickened it. I flew into union, which was like the definitive union. That was like the complete revelation of this is the true twin flame. This is the real romance. He had already been in and out of my life for 3 decades. Sort of. But this was the one and only true revelation that this was the one. I mean, it still seemed messy, which I think at that time made me feel like I'm in a quickening because of the messiness. But underneath that messiness, what was revealed was that this was the true romance. And this was the true person. This was the one that loved me. The other ones were just stand-ins for all this nonsense that I needed to experience to have finally this deepening moment in which I did let myself be confronted with what was actually going on. So it brought me my union very quickly. Bam, there it was. It brought me being so sure that this is the true twin flame. It can't be undone anymore. To such a depth that it is truly a divine revelation. It's no guesswork. It's no maybe, who knows. Or I decide so. When I say so, then it is my twin flame. And then it was in 3.5 months, I was in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. And you could feel the shift, the inner shift of the inner heart. And that's where you truly choose each other as the inner marriage between you, twin flame and twin flame. That's the shift, consciousness shift to union consciousness. And then came the big quickening in this enormous wave of all this change that came over me, of healing my deep trauma, of getting to know all these deep emotions so that they could be released, so that I could heal my trauma, of getting to reparent myself, of getting to know who I truly am, of getting to develop my true mission without any doubt and without any holding back. Which was all in the quality of union consciousness. After harmonious union, in the enormous healing wave that came afterwards. I mean, if there is any quickening, then it was that. But that actually was because of what I said earlier in this episode, like, because, well, I had done that shift of that curse, right? I had done the consciousness shift. I had done as well. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had done the consciousness shift as well. So I had done what we just discussed at the beginning of the show. And I had done the thing that was like, I finally completely gave up my ego, personality, and I touched on that deeper place that was like, union is already here now. I completely touched it. Instead of staying into the involvement with like, let's get the next date and maybe I can then manipulate everything right As if you can manipulate things right. Well, you just never can, because that's a contradiction. And that's not union. Union is one, contradiction is two. Easy enough, right? So when I truly touched that, because I actually, after a long time, finally took the twin flame inner work truly seriously, then it came to union, and then to revelation, and then to harmonious union, and then to the union wave, and that was all like rolling over itself. Oh my God, there it was, and that was a union quickening of eternity that you could have never invented. And I also did not invent it. You don't invent your own union quickening. The only thing you can do is open yourself to make it possible. Open yourself so that it can come in. And until you're there, you're working on getting things out of the way so that you open yourself, so that it can come in. And that's the work, and you need to do the work, and you need to invest in it and do it every day and commit to it, and don't let go and persist, right? But you actually don't invest and persist, etc., in being so active in like, let me do the things of the journey. No, what you're going to do is you're going to do the twin flame inner work, and you're going to commit to it and invest in it, ask guidance for it. That's where you need to put all your money on. And literally too. I also did that. I gave all my money to it, all my time. And I mean that as literal as you can think of. And then I started to pull away these blocks that were in the way of it coming in. And when it started to come in, well, there was a little bit of a build up, and then boom and boom and boom, and a healing wave, and which was all also what they call it in divine timing, because I could process it in my rhythm, in my tempo, in my it was exactly where I was all the time. I was exactly at this place where I could exactly process and digest what was presented to me at that time. And that was like, you could say what they call maybe divine timing, if you want to call it that, because it was perfect for me, uniquely me. Union quickening. So organizing your union quickening asks for a very specific environment, and like set up, and like inner work, and like guidance, and like community, so that you can work on and dedicate yourself to removing the blocks in the exact right way, so that you can let it in when it comes. And you need this place, you need this space, you need this time to do what you actually can do, to open up so that it works through you, so that the speed can get you up to speed by itself as a natural process. And all your work goes in, going to the community, getting to know me behind the video, right? Come to your weekly coaching sessions, and so that we can put this baggage away, so that it can come in to you. And we both will be like the witness of how it will touch you. And it will be beautiful, and it will be divine, and it will be exactly right for only you and your union at exactly the right time. But it will be quick. And all of this is billions times more quickly than not doing that work to move the seemingly unmovable inner blocks that you often also even can't see. Because it is not a waiting. It's not like, yeah, so she actually says, just let it come over me. I don't know. It can be this lifetime or the next or that afterwards. I don't know. I can't do anything. Just do something with me. I can't do it. No, it's like the opposite. You are going to do everything. You're going to be very disciplined with the inner work that moves the blocks away, so that it can come in with the thing that you can't organize. But you are going to be very organized about the part that you can organize, right? And that's why I created all this work. That's why I created the group year course that we start on May the 1st, and you're invited to come join. It will be the first time that I really open up a group for this. We will have weekly meetings where we just open the hearts, all of us, and share in the only one right union consciousness, so that it may touch you. And your blocks will be moving to the side more every week. And then for you, bam, it starts to come in. And then for the other one, bam, it starts to come in. That's what we will see in the group. And I even add 24 daily life and mission and spiritual healing and creativity and more attuned topics that I have brought on the union level for you. And I put them into interaction and theory and workbook. And these are all available as well in the group year course that opens on May the 1st, 2025. So yeah, that will be the first time that we'll do it with a group instead of individually. So I think that's going to be so exponentially growing the capacity for this work to work. And that's going to be almost dangerous, because it is already so powerful until now, what happens through my working practice. So yeah, it's going to be a big quickening exercise. I mean, it can't be anything else, because, well, since I have worked all of this out, right, and I presented all this work that is for you, and you can come behind the screen and make use of it and get your sessions and your initiations and your all of it down, right, and get all the material from me that I feel you need at this point, and your readings done and all of that. Yeah, I did all that for myself. I created all the work, and I saw it for 4 people go to Harmonious Twin Flame Union very quickly and beautifully. But throughout all of this, I mean, what I have created is actually an atmosphere, like a vortex in itself, like this is the vortex. The vortex itself, that is like anyone that comes in, that steps into the atmosphere, that comes to the work behind the screen, that invests in themselves, Anyone that comes closer in that way, they just step into that enormous vortex there where they will be sucked into the direction of their true twin flame. And I see it every time. Anyone that does that, it's really unbelievable. It's sort of something, I have created something with Divine Mother that works automatically. And you won't find it anywhere else. It's really, well, magical. It's the twin flame magical work that we do here. And it is for anyone a twin flame quickening that comes immediately. And often also I see money quickenings. I see just people that like they come to me and you just see things in their life change right away that might seem unrelated a little bit, but they're really not unrelated. They're completely and utterly the answer to what we're working on. And this is how my work works, because I have the true work with Divine Mother. So maybe someone can like come in, lose their job. That's what I saw. Sounds strange maybe, but within 2 weeks they had a much better job with higher pay. How do you think that was coming to be? Do you really think it has nothing to do with stepping into the work and starting to do the true work? It has everything to do with it, because that's given. It's a divine gift. When you step into the real work with me and Divine Mother, these kinds of things happen all the time. I see it happen with everyone pretty much. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just an atmosphere rife with miracles. And that is the union quickening that I wanted to talk about today. I choose now to explore the most complete depths of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my very core that He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see the truth that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we are all one with our twin flames and God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love, love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry, you could not choose against love itself, because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave, but it cannot possibly leave. But you leave love by the power of your command. And by that same power, you can command yourself to return to love. And it is so revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and ask the support you deserve through our services. So that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results I'm speaking of, and in fact, guaranteeing. Currently, you are cordially invited to step into the group year course experience. This is the Twin Flame Mystery School you have been waiting for. I'm looking for 9 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Twin Flame Abundance Now opens its doors on May the 1st. Start giving so that you can receive. The door closes as soon as I have my 9 people that will be successful in their journey. But first, we dance towards the opening of the door together. Join the launch of the Twin Flame Year group course of your dreams. creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now launch. Link also below in the description box. The show notes You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also what we are here on earth, and that necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes on Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on the behind the scenes experience. Patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe. Link also below in the description box. This month, the Patreon subscriber action is the Divine Love reading for the old price of €99 instead of the new one of €177. Why don't you share this with a friend? Maybe they enjoy it too. I am Petra, in the consciousness state of Harmonious Twin Flame Union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough, after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You have reached what you were looking for. Om Amen.